African cities are changing very fast. In many countries,
new highways, flyovers, ports, rail lines, airports, housing estates, office towers, shopping centers, and mixed-use districts are appearing at a scale that was rare only 2 decades ago. Skylines are growing in places such as Lagos, Nairobi, Kigali, Addis Ababa, Accra, Abidjan, Dar es Salaam, Cairo, Casablanca, Johannesburg, Luanda, and Dakar. This change is not only about people moving from villages to cities, it is also about how African governments and investors now see cities as engines of national growth, global competition, and political image. New capital cities, new business districts, new transport corridors, and new logistics zones are designed to reshape how the country works and how it is seen by foreign partners. When governments build highways, airports, ports, rail systems, convention centers, and government districts in one urban area, development concentrates there and pushes the city upward and outward. In this video, we'll break down the reason for the rapid development in Africa. Infrastructure partnerships with foreign powers. Large partnerships with foreign governments and state-backed companies have strongly shaped the speed and scale of urban infrastructure. Financing and construction partnerships with China and to a smaller extent with Russia, Turkey and Gulf states have expanded the options available to African governments. These partners often offer combined packages that include finance, construction, equipment, and technical support. This makes it easier to deliver rail systems, highways, ports, power plants, stadiums, and government buildings within short timeframes. Because most of these projects are located in or around major cities, they directly drive rapid urban expansion and modern city form. Initially, when African countries requested loans from the West, America and Europe would lend to individual political leaders, leaving the usage of the loan to the discretion of that politician. Oftentimes, the government would divert the funds to private interests, leaving the country indebted but without any visible improvement. But when China partnered with Africa, the deal was clear and simple. We will build the infrastructure for you at a specific cost and you pay off over time. This was a much better deal because of the visible infrastructure development. Political image and global visibility. Many leaders want their main cities to reflect order, stability, and modern capacity. Well-planned business districts, modern transport systems, upgraded public spaces, and large public buildings send clear signals to global investors, lenders, tourists, and regional partners. Urban development has become part of how countries present themselves. This pressure to look competitive on the world stage encourages fast and highly visible construction in capital cities and major commercial centers. Younger and more modern-minded leadership. Another important factor is the rise of younger and more modern-minded political and administrative leaders. In many countries, decision-makers now openly connect national progress with visible changes in cities. Their policies often focus on projects that can be delivered within political terms and easily shown to citizens and foreign partners. City rail systems, express roads, new airports, digital government centers, and new business districts fit this approach very well. This style of leadership supports big and fast urban projects. Take Ethiopia's gentrification of Addis Ababa, for example. In the brief tenure of Abiy Ahmed, the Prime Minister, the city has been completely overhauled to present a modern, friendly outlook ready for business. Competition among African cities.
Deputy Minister for Works and Housing is in the chamber today. Recently, I was with her in Addis Ababa, and the trip that took us from our hotel to the AU headquarters, we talked about nothing but town development. Why we couldn't do what they are doing in Addis Ababa. 3-4 lane roads with walkways where the ordinary Ethiopian can also walk.
Competition between African countries and their major cities is also playing a major role. Cities now compete directly for regional company headquarters, airline routes, international conferences, trade fairs, finance, and logistics hubs. Governments compare their cities with others on the continent and try to match or exceed them. When one city opens a modern airport terminal, light rail system, or new central business district, nearby countries often respond with similar projects. This rivalry speeds up large urban investment and makes cities grow quickly in size and height. Designing cities to attract investors and tourists. The need to attract foreign investment and tourism is another strong driver of modern urban growth. Governments are no longer waiting for investors to arrive before upgrading cities. They are actively redesigning and regulating key urban areas so that investors and visitors feel safe, welcome, and able to operate easily. This includes better security, cleaner public spaces, modern transport links, one-stop business centers, World Trade Centers, simpler visa systems, and clearer land and property rules. These upgrades are usually focused on central business districts, airport corridors, waterfronts, and government zones. Tourism policies now increasingly focus on cities, not only wildlife and beaches. Ghana and Nigeria host Dedi December every year, attracting almost 200,000 foreigners within a month alone. This population influx forces the governments to invest in convention centers, hotels, airport upgrades, cultural districts, museums, sports arenas, and waterfront projects inside major cities. These facilities attract international hotel groups, event organizers, and private developers, which increases construction activity and modern infrastructure in urban centers. Regional trade and logistics growth. Regional economic cooperation has strengthened the role of cities as trade and logistics centers. The African Continental Free Trade Area is encouraging countries to improve border systems, transport corridors, ports, and customs facilities. These investments are mainly urban or city-linked. Cities located along major trade routes are building logistics parks, freight terminals, and distribution centers. Transport infrastructure is one of the clearest triggers of fast urban expansion. They open large areas of land that were previously difficult to reach. Developers quickly move into these newly connected locations. In many African cities, urban growth now closely follows transport corridors. Mega infrastructure and real estate as growth strategy. Another major force behind the new look of African cities is the way governments use large infrastructure and real estate projects as national growth tools. Power stations, water systems, and large housing programs are often supported by public land, public guarantees, and state finance. These projects are designed to pull private development around them. This creates clusters of tall buildings and dense districts that quickly reshape city skylines. Domestic and diaspora real estate investment. Domestic investors and Africans living abroad are also shaping how fast and how tall cities are growing. Urban property has become one of the main ways to protect savings and earn returns. Apartments, office towers, shopping centers, and mixed-use projects attract large amounts of private capital. Governments support this market by releasing land, improving planning systems, and extending roads and utilities into new districts. As a result, real estate development is increasingly organized into large, master-planned areas instead of small, isolated projects. Take Ghana's The Year of Return, for example. Here, Black diaspora return to Ghana, buy lands or properties, develop it, and trying it out or run it as a business. Many Black Americans who have relocated to Africa have also contributed to the urbanization of their respective relocation zones. New government districts and capital city restructuring. Another key reason for rapid urban growth is the restructuring of capital cities and government centers. Some countries have relocated ministries, parliaments, courts, and public agencies into new districts or entirely new cities. Nigeria moved their capital from Lagos to Abuja, forcing Abuja to quickly urbanize. Egypt has moved the capital from Cairo to a new smart city rising from the desert, and numerous other African countries are doing the same. These projects include wide roads, public buildings, housing for civil servants, conference centers, and security infrastructure. Once government offices move into these areas, private firms, banks, hotels, and service companies follow, creating new urban zones that expand very quickly. Urban development is a national strategy. African cities are expanding because urban development itself has become a political and economic strategy. These are visible signs of progress that governments present to citizens and international partners. At the same time, these projects reshape land values, attract private capital, and anchor long-term economic activity. Urban growth is therefore no longer only a side effect of population change. It is an intentional process driven by state planning, foreign partnerships, domestic investment, and regional competition. And this is why African cities today are growing bigger, taller, and more complex at a very fast pace. Land planning and building system reforms. Changes in land and planning systems are also important. Governments are improving land registration, property records, zoning rules, and building standards. Clearer land ownership and faster development approvals reduce risk for large developers and foreign partners. This makes it easier to finance and build complex projects such as mixed-use districts, business parks, and waterfront redevelopments. Better planning also allows cities to officially designate high-density growth zones. Security and stability. Security and public safety policies play a quiet but important role. Large urban projects require long construction periods and long-term finance. Governments that improve urban policing, emergency services, and surveillance systems reduce risk for investors and contractors. This improves access to insurance and international finance and allows large and complex developments to go ahead. The expansion of finance, aviation services, logistics management, media, higher education, health services, and professional services concentrates modern buildings and infrastructure in cities. Governments support these sectors through business districts, education hubs, medical zones, and technology parks. Even when factories are located outside city centers, management and service functions usually remain in large urban areas, which supports further office towers and commercial development. Power, water, and digital utilities. Energy and utilities infrastructure also explain why modern urban development is accelerating. Cities cannot grow upward or support large commercial districts without reliable electricity, water supply, sewage treatment, and data networks. Many countries have invested in power plants, transmission lines, water treatment facilities, and fiber networks designed mainly for urban centers and industrial corridors. Once these systems are available, dense and high-rise construction becomes technically possible and financially attractive. As Africa keeps modernizing, cities will keep springing up, reaching for the skies and reshaping not just the landscape, but the global narrative of the continent.